95.7 The Hog, The Morning Hog. Riggs, Steve, Josh, S.R. Perrott, and Brian from Michael Waltripp Brewing. We're about to taste racing next on The Morning Hog on 95.7 The Hog. 95.7 The Hog, Daytona's rock station and racing station, because it is Daytona 500 weekend. And Josh from S.R. Perrott is sitting right there, bringing us flavors of Michael Waltripp Brewing.
Yeah.
You brought Brian back, didn't you?
I did. It's been a whole year.
Brian, welcome back.
It took a year for all the restrictions to burn off for me being able to come back to town. So
quite frankly, last time Michael Waltripp was here and he took up all the mic time. He hogged the whole thing up. Now you finally get to speak your piece.
It's my time to shine.
I like this. I like this way better. And you brought us some Michael Waltripp Brewing beers right there, huh?
Yeah, that's the OG. That's our original recipe, the first one that we did.
I'm not gonna wait for you to give us permission. We're just cracking right into these right now.
That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm. We got some 2-time blonde ale.
Okay. 2-time blonde ale. We had a great story behind this beer last time. If I remember, Michael mentioned something about a blonde.
There's always something about a blonde with Michael. Yeah.
Does 2-time have something to do with the amount of wins?
Oh.
Well, he says it's either the 2 Daytona 500 championships or it's a bad girlfriend. We're not sure which.
It's really open to interpretation. Yeah,
it really is.
It's open to the drinker of the beer, depending on what you want.
Absolutely.
But you're back, and obviously we know that we can get our Michael Waltripp beers really everywhere. Now, last time it was just all new and fresh and fun. Now it is a mainstay.
Yeah, we got some Total Wine, some Walmarts,
right.
Some draft,
really?
Like places like Hooters, a few other locations, but you always check out the website.
He's talking about srprot.com/beer finder where you can find it, but right now you can find it right here on the Morning Hog. So what, first of all, I didn't even know you were a Daytona guy.
Yeah, grew up here.
Right?
Born and raised. Yeah.
Really?
Wow, really?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
There's not many local natives here, but I'm one of them. And my whole family lives here.
Really?
So how do you migrate from here to what you're doing now?
Yeah, it was crazy. So after I graduated from college, I moved back to Daytona and started working for the Speedway back in the Stone Age. When there was dinosaur racing going on.
Right.
I tell people like Richard Petty was an active driver when I started. That's
really?
how long ago this was.
They had seats on the backstretch back then.
So started working for in the sport and ended up in Watkins Glen. I was president there for a number of years, and then out to Phoenix. I was president of the track there for about 17 years. So that's where I met Michael,
right?
And he and I became good buddies, and just in the course of hanging out, talking about beer, and boy, if we ever had our own beer, this is how we would do it, and yada yada, and it just sort of kind of came together. And the craziest thing is we decided to do this in Napa Valley. Wine country,
really?
Right? The most,
yeah.
The opposite of where you would start a beer company.
Right.
And we were up there for an event and just got talking about it and said, all right, well, the heck with it. We're going to go. We're going to, we didn't know enough to know we shouldn't do it. And we just jumped in at that point on a handshake with another friend of ours and said, all right, we're going to do this thing. And that's how the whole thing got started. And here we are.
That's awesome.
And last year at this time, the fleet was what, three or four core beers basically that were in cans at that point.
That's right. And the 2-time blonde is the original recipe. So this is the recipe that launched the company essentially. But we've got a number of other beers now in distribution. We've got a toasted coconut IPA that's available around town. We've got a Mexican lager that will be basically a seasonal. I don't think we have that here this year. And then I was just mentioning to Josh, we've got a brand new beer that is being packaged right now called Bristol Sunshine, and it's a tangerine and citrus ale. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's been the number.
Sounds delicious.
Oh my God, it's so great, and it's the number one beer in our tap room in Bristol for over a year now. And the ladies love it, the guys love it, and so we're excited to get that into cans.
Yeah.
And so that'll be be coming here in the near future.
Yeah,
Josh,
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And I've been to Bristol a lot of times, and I don't oftentimes get sunshine there. Sunshine and then thunderstorms and then more sunshine. So
that's right.
The beer's always sunny.
That's right. Well, and the name of the beer is Bristol Sunshine. So Michael talks about it's the only BS he likes. Is Bristol Sunshine.
I dig it. That's a tagline right there. Trademark that today.
Dude should walk
no
around
doubt,
with his own rim shot. That's pretty good. So obviously, this being the OG and this the original formula, it's like every brewery you run across has their mainstay, right? They have their one beer that's the anchor.
So usually when I go to a brewery, the first thing I try is either blonde or their lager.
Okay.
There's not a lot that, you can't hide a lot in that type of beer. And this is fantastic. So they ain't hiding nothing.
and it does feel like there's some fruit backbone in here too.
I'd imagine that'd be some of the hops and some of the
it is.
yeast,
It's little citra hops,
right?
Yeah, and that's on purpose. We when we started working on this recipe, one of the things that Michael and I both wanted was a little bit cleaner finish, and some of the blondes, especially out west where we kind of started this craziness. Yeah, some of the blondes out there, to my palate, seemed a little flabby, a little heavy. And we wanted something a little bit lighter that you could enjoy on a golf course or at the racetrack or by your pool. And so we purposefully went for that, kind of that little citrus, just a tinge, just a little bit of citrus on the back.
I can't imagine how fun that process is, though, to be, sample, first runs of stuff and be like, no, let's tweak it slightly. This is what we're looking for. And then finally land on something. It's like, all right, we got it.
Yeah, working on recipes I tell everybody, this is the best part of my job.
Right.
Absolutely. And, and all the stuff that never sees the light of day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the craziness. But, we're up at the brewery in Bristol. Our head brewer has been doing this for 40 plus years, and so he's forgotten more than I'll ever know. And we'll go into the laboratory, Jack's laboratory, and we'll work on these recipes. And you never know what's going to come out of there. And that's how the Bristol Sunshine got started.
Really?
It was we were working on a base beer, and we were trying to make something else. And so
it seems to be the story for a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It started as A and it turned into C.
Correct. So the joke at the brewery is we call it the holiday ale, because that's what we were trying to make, was a holiday ale. Really? And we could get close. We just couldn't get it to where we felt like, okay, this is something we feel proud to put our name on. And so just too much cinnamon, not enough nutmeg. And this was going on and on. Well, the holidays are coming at us. They're not going to stop. And so finally we just kind of gave up and said, all right, well, the heck with it. Let's just throw a bunch of tangerine in and let's see what happens. And so we were tasting it. And I said, man, this is pretty good. So I went out to the tap room, and we had some guinea pigs, also known as customers, were sitting there. And I said, hey, do you guys mind trying some beer? And everybody loved it. And so that gave us the courage to keep going. And then, over time, we kind of worked on the recipe and got it in shape. But the joke around the brewery is, we talk about, making a holiday ale. It's really our other beer, yeah.
Which is ironic that this weekend is like a holiday for me and all these race fans. It's what you get in town. So this is like the perfect opportunity for you to go pick up some Michael Waltripp beers. And by the way, Steve will give you a lesson later on how to pack a cooler and take it to the speedway.
Perfectly packed, right?
Yes,
I got you.
Yeah, he's got a lot of skills coming up. That and more. Round 2 next. Morning Hog Brew Review. Josh S. Upperat, Brian, Michael Waltripp Brewing.
Cheers.
95.7 The Hog. Hey, it's a Morning Hog happy hour because it's Friday and it's race weekend. And Josh from S.R. Prat is right there. And Brian from Michael Waltripp Brewing back brought us the tasty two-time blonde.
Hot dog.
So good.
Yes.
It's race weekend. This is exciting. And I'm sure for you it's probably still exciting. Although, again, you grew up in Daytona, so I would assume race weekend was either great or really annoying for you because of the traffic and congestion and restaurants and stores and everything. Do you still enjoy a good race weekend though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Being a local, you've got to at least be annoyed at some point, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you're not cool or whatever. Yeah. But no, I love it. I always love the races and everything. From the 24 hours, the motorcycles, but especially Daytona 500.
Okay, so as a president of a speedway, as you mentioned, you've done this, so you've seen it from every possible angle. Which do you prefer as a fan of the sport? What is a better way to enjoy it? I would think the president's the worst thing because you have to worry about everything at that point. You don't even get to enjoy the actual race.
Yeah, the tracks that I was president of, I hardly saw any laps.
Brutal.
So I would see maybe a couple during the day, and that was about it.
That's rough. Because you're a race fan probably at heart, and you don't get to see any racing.
Correct.
That's no good.
Yeah, and I've got the best credentials too.
Right. You can go anywhere.
Yeah, and
you get the president's box, bro.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't get to see anything, so I have to go to somebody else's racetrack to watch a race. It's kind of wacky, but no, it's great. It's awesome. Great time of year here.
Yeah, this is good. And Josh, this is I know that you end up getting a little busy this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Because,
Well, I mean, this is event season, right? So we have race week, bike week, so it's just nonstop, full go.
When's bike week?
I don't even want to think about it.
Okay, all right.
Let's roll back to race week and finish this first.
My back started to hurt. So Steve and I ran a half marathon last weekend. We ran the Speedway was the beginning couple of miles of we both. By the way, we're both still living, as far as you know, unless these are like holograms. Nope, that's real. But
real.
being out there and seeing the Speedway just with nobody in the seats, nothing going on. It's kind of quiet, really, to be honest with you. It's such a cool, unique vibe to go see it. What it will be in a couple of days, which is completely sold out, oversold probably, packed with attractions and the race and the flyover and music and all that stuff.
That's probably one of the favorite parts of my job, especially again, bike week, race week, stuff like that, is to go to these places that without the events, it's a whole different space.
Right.
So it's kind of surreal to see these things before there's hundreds of thousands of people there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of my favorite things, just because you get to see kind of behind the scenes and what's about to happen.
And there's no line at the concession stand. You can go right up to that beer. It's
exactly.
so nice.
Walk right to the Porta-John.
That's right. That's true. Yeah.
No line.
That's a great point. And honestly, the best part of this half marathon was that when we crossed the finish line, there was a cart with a free slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Room temperature, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And they gave us some beer. Now, it wasn't as good as this beer, honestly. I don't even know what it was, but it was coming out of a truck, and we're like, yeah, we'll drink it. We just ran 13 and a half miles. We'll take anything. This would have been the right thing. And I would recommend that you go get some of this Michael Waltripp Brewing beer so that you can get all kinds of places.
There you go.
Right? Everywhere. And on tap, too, right?
Yeah, on tap. But like I said, it's the easiest way to do it.
srprod.com/beerfinder. Oh, I almost messed it up. Whew. There's a lot of pressure right there. So, Brian, this is when you get to run around with Michael. You've been friends for years, so you know him.
I do.
There are probably people who don't know him, who just know him from TV. It's the same guy.
It really is.
And it's the same dude.
Yeah, the language is a little saltier, I
like that part.
away from TV, but it's the same guy. You never know.
Yeah.
What he's going to be up to, and
Right.
so it's always fun.
Now, when you're being an evil genius in the lab and trying to come up with new brews, you mentioned the tap room in Bristol has a whole bunch of different offshoots. What are some of your favorites of that may maybe eventually find their way into cans and stuff that people can enjoy all around?
Yeah, good question. We've been making a juicy IPA that is really, really delicious, and I think that one's going to end up making its way into package by the end of the year. And then the porter. To me, during the winter when it's cold, I love a porter, and we make a really, really good. Yeah, we make a really good one, and so I always look forward to the weather changing in Bristol because I know I'm going to get some porter.
That's right.
So those two are really good. But I tell you, the other one that's turned into sort of like a sensation, I guess, in the Bristol area is our peach ale.
Oh, really?
And it's very labor intensive. There's real peaches in there. And so our head brewer made me promise that we would never put it in distribution.
yeah, that would be a...
So the big release is coming in, I guess, March 4th. And everybody's looking forward to that. And they're all excited. And we serve it with a gummy ring, a peach gummy ring in the glass. So that one's a kind of a treat for, the tap room only. But the juicy IPA, I think probably by the end of the year that'll find its way into 6-packs.
We need to make a road trip then, I guess.
I was going to ask some specifics about the tap room. You guys open 7 days a week, or any
open
food up there?
Yeah,
like
it's a full restaurant. So we were awarded the best of Bristol for our chicken wings. And,
wow,
nice.
Yeah, we've got burgers and all that sort of thing, and we're open 6 days a week right now. We're closed on Tuesdays.
Okay.
But otherwise, lots of live music, sports going on. We got all the big screen TVs.
So we drive up on a Tuesday.
You're right.
Yeah, there you go. Use that as the drive day, and then that way you're good to go for 6 days in a row.
And I have made that trip before in a car, and it's if you do it right, it's fun.
Well, we're not all fitting in yours.
No, exactly. We cannot. Yeah, we're gonna have to draw straws or something.
We'll pull a trailer.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about packing a cooler for this weekend for those maybe some amateurs just going to the Speedway for the first time. So you get 6 of these, right? You get your Waltripp brews, and then Steve, what do? You get your 6-pack cooler, right?
Take them, put them in your soft cooler, load it up with ice, get you a 12-inch sub, bag of chips, a couple of waters, you're good to go. That's how you do it.
It sounds like a whole race weekend survival kit,
right?
Or in this case, 1 day survival kit.
Yeah.
1
day is good.
Okay,
That's
there you
1
go.
day.
There you go. That's
rinse and repeat.
That's
day
Steve's
2.
fun tip of the day. There you go. Brian, I hope you were taking notes. We'll get you the transcripts of that in case you want to use that this
exactly.
But it is nice to have that horizon, right? Oh, you always have something on the back burner that may end up coming to the forefront, whether it's the biggest thing in the tap room or end up in cans. So
yeah,
I like that.
yeah, and we've got one that we're gonna, I think, put out in May. The liquid is done; it's fabulous. We're calling it a Southern Lager.
Okay.
And the name of the beer will be 15, which of course was the number that Michael carried to two Daytona 500 championships.
Love that.
So we're working on the artwork for the package, but I think that'll come out in May.
Okay.
And really light, easy to drink beer. It's another great poolside, on the beach, wherever the warm weather takes you. And it's going to be an awesome summer beer. So
I feel like I might, because if you follow you guys on the socials, on Instagram especially, you get to see some fun pictures.
Oh yeah,
and it makes you, and it teases you because you're thinking, I want that beer now. It's coming soon. Just wait for it.
Yes.
Or take a road trip to Bristol.
Yeah.
And Bristol's a good place. You can go watch NASCAR there. You can watch drag racing at the same place, really, and not at the same time though. Obviously. Parking lot would be a mess if that.
Rumor is we're going to have a lawnmower race at the brewery during NASCAR week in April.
Really?
Yes, that's the rumor.
I like this rumor.
I love that you start it's a rumor.
You're
that
starting
you're
your own rumor.
I'm starting the rumor today. Yeah, so and I would be in a position to know whether this is happening or not. So that it's not really working as a rumor. But
This is a riding mower. It's a riding mower.
I think so. Yes.
Do we have any?
With celebrities racing.
Can we get a prod entry into that one? Maybe.
Hey, let's make it happen.
I think so. You guys rise to the level of celebrity
Do we?
status. I think
Really?
so. So
Holy
I have an
cow.
entry in this race for you whenever you're ready. So
Steve just brushed his shoulder off over there.
Yeah, I know, right? He's really, he's feeling it now.
Got
Jeez.
this.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the weekend for all of Daytona to celebrate all things Michael Waltripp Brewing, and thanks so much for bringing us these tasty beers again.
absolutely, thanks for having me.
Tell Michael we said hi, and thanks to him for allowing you to talk for a change.
Yes.
I'm sure the next time it won't happen.
It definitely won't happen the next time, and we'll see you guys next year too. Right?
Yeah, srprod.com/beerfinder. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.